Joining me to assist in this evening's celebration will be the NANB Board of Directors, and I now invite Brenda Kinney, President-elect, to join me to recognize the first award recipient. Brenda will begin her mandate as President in September of this year.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Nurses Association of New Brunswick, I have the distinct honor of presenting Shari Watson with the Excellence in Clinical Practice Award. In accepting the nomination, Shari said, "I chose to become an RN because I recognized I had an innate ability and desire to make others feel comfortable and safe. My philosophy of nursing is built on patient advocacy, quality care, compassion, honesty, trust, respectfulness, and commitment." Shari's nominators have included abundant evidence that Shari models the essence of the nursing profession and lives her personal philosophy on a daily basis. Shari is a lifelong learner who began her career as a licensed practical nurse while working in the emergency room at the Dr. Everett Chalmers Hospital. She completed her Bachelor of Nursing at the University of New Brunswick. Upon graduation, she began work on 4 Northwest at the Dr. Chalmers Hospital, a very busy medical unit that specializes in stroke care. After 5 years in this area, Shari completed the New Brunswick Critical Care course and took a position in the emergency room. She enjoyed the challenges this environment provided, but came to realize that her true passion was back at the bedside. So after 2 years, she returned to 4 Northwest, where she continues to work today. Shari's nominators stressed that she has excellent assessment skills and provides exceptional evidence-informed care, but what everyone believes makes her shine is the quality of the relationships that she has with her patients. Her care is focused on the family as a unit of care. It's focused on identifying patient strengths and goals, ensuring they have a sound understanding of their care and working collaboratively with them. Shari excels in the delivery of person-centered care, and we heard lots about that today, how important that is. Working with the whole person and addressing not only the physical needs of clients, but their unique emotional, social, and spiritual health challenges. Patients and family members who made submissions repeatedly stressed the sense of safety that they felt while in Shari's care. A colleague of Shari's expressed pride in the contribution that she makes to the nursing profession. She is a positive role model who is a sought-after mentor and is seen as an advocate for patients and her colleagues. She has created and maintains a closed social networking group titled Bedside Nurses Making a Difference. This group discusses healthcare concerns and strives to develop strategies for change. Shari has had letters to the editor published and has facilitated a group that met with the past Minister of Health to address nurses' perspectives of the pressures being imposed by staffing levels and increased number of alternate level of care patients. Shari has served on the Nursing Council of the Dr. Everett Chalmers Regional Hospital and with the New Brunswick Nurses Union. In conclusion, I would like to share the words of one of Shari's nominators. Shari's practice sets a kind, caring, expert standard to which other RNs can aspire, making the profession stronger while contributing to the public trust in nursing. I think that's a wonderful statement. On behalf of the Board of Directors, it's our honor and privilege to award Shari Watson with the Excellence in Clinical Practice Award.
The Excellence in Clinical Practice Award also is presented in partnership with the RBC Royal Bank, our banking institution, and includes a financial award of $1,000. So as said Shari, on behalf of the Board of Directors, we congratulate you, and I would also now invite Shari and Chris Morrison, the Commercial Account Manager of RBC, to join me at the podium.
I feel like I have just been called on stage to receive an Academy Award. That being said, Academy Award recipients are all actresses. And I think it's fair to say that most of you in this room this evening will agree with me that registered nurses, we are real people. Thank you, Brenda Kinney, for your kind and generous introduction. Good evening, Madam President, Executive Director, members of the board, distinguished guests, registered nurses, friends, and families. There are no words to fully express what it means to be chosen for NANB's Excellence in Clinical Practice Award. Thank you, NANB, for recognizing, creating, and maintaining this prestigious award. I would not be standing here tonight if not for the efforts of my sponsors, Grace Getty, Debbie Amaro. I am truly honored that you believed in my nursing practice abilities enough to put forth all the effort and time that it takes to entail what this nomination process entails. You are gifted nursing leaders. I look up to you both, and I am humbled that you place me in a category of excellence. I would also like to thank my nurse manager, Nancy Arsenault, for her contribution and her daily support and efforts to see our unit operating effectively. They do not go unnoticed. In addition, I would like to thank Amy Carrier, Laura Stairs, Brenda Marsden, Joanne Brewer, Jackie Dion, Andre Bourque for their worthy contributions. I respect and I admire each and every one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Healthcare cuts see me challenged to provide the standard of care that my patients deserve. So to be recognized at this level, I must still be doing something right. I share this honor with my colleagues, for everything that I do is based on what the nurse before me has done. We work on a 24-hour continuum, we work together, and we work hard. I am thankful for the support of NANB. Your leadership in promoting and maintaining standards for our practice are second to none. When there is an imbalance between patient needs and my ability to provide safe care, it is crucial that we come together and strive for positive change, despite our limited resources. As a direct result of those limited resources, clinical practice nurses often get caught up in physical tasks and organizational expectations. The emotional needs of our patients, oh, you must have spilled your dessert on my page. It couldn't have been me. The emotional needs of our patients and their loved ones often take a back seat. Why? Because we don't have any time. There's no time to spare. With a family's permission, I am now going to share a true nursing experience. This story sets as an example of the importance of tending to those emotional needs of our patients and of their loved ones. Exactly 1 month and 1 day ago, I arrived to my 12-hour day. to find a new patient had arrived in 63B. She was well known to our unit, for she waited for placement there for a very, very long time. She came to us with abdominal pain not yet diagnosed and was for a CAT scan at 12:30 that day. The night nurse reported that she was beyond restless and increasingly more confused than her normal state of dementia. She appeared to be inconsolable despite the medication that was given overnight. I knew that her husband would be arriving, and my number one goal was to see her in a comfortable state. I utilized all my orders, which were appropriate and seemingly adequate. However, her husband arrived at 10 o'clock and she was still in that inconsolable state. I stopped him in the hallway to update him on her status. I assured him that we were doing everything that we could to ensure that she became comfortable. He had brought her favorite music, and he was sure that his presence in her room would calm her. That was not the case. At 11 o'clock, I entered her room to find him gently stroking her face, answering her desperate, repetitive, nonsensical questions in the softest tone. His love for her seeped through every pore in his body, and my faith in true love was tentatively restored. Despite the generosity of my medication orders, my efforts were failing. I looked at Jack and I said, "If I pull Margaret over to the far side of that bed, will you get in there and lay down beside her?" He looked at me and he said, "Can I?" I said, "Yeah, I'm asking you to." He eagerly laid down beside his wife of 60+ years, who knew how long it had been since they had laid side by side. I left the room to give them some privacy. I returned about a half an hour later. I looked down at her, I looked over at him, I looked back at her, I looked back at him, and I said, "Jack, I think she's gone." Jack looked at her, and then he looked at me, and then he looked back at her, and he said, "Wow, I couldn't have asked for a better death." Then he fell face down into her shoulders, and he sobbed like a baby. I leaned over him with my hand stroking on his back and offered my condolences. I asked him if there was anyone that I could call, and he told me that he just needed time to get over that initial shock and that he would call their children. I left the room in tears because nurses are real people, and I returned 5 minutes later to find him sitting at the edge of the bed. He reached his frail arm out to me and put it on my shoulder and said, "I need to tell you something, but it may take me a while." Through his tears and his quivering voice, I could hear him say, "Thank you, Shari, for putting me in bed with my wife. I have thought about her death a lot lately and what it would be like. I dreamt that she could die in my arms." As a nurse, I was able to make his dream come true. We have an incredible influence on the population of people that we serve in joyful times and in sorrow times, and I am rewarded every day in my profession. I will close by sharing a quote that timely crossed my pathway yesterday. "Nurse, just another word to describe a person who is strong enough to tolerate everything, yet soft enough to understand everyone." Thank you very much.